and you need a witness, an unbiased witness. Imagine if you're being tried for murder, right? And you bring your wife or your husband or your sister or your brother as a witness. Won't that be considered as a biased witness? It's an interactive class. Won't that be considered as a biased witness? You can let me know in the chat box if that will be considered as a biased witness. Yes, the person will be considered as a biased witness because they have like an intimate relationship with you. So, absolutely, they'll be considered as a biased witness. But imagine getting someone independent of you, maybe a colleague in your office or a specialist that just evaluates you independently to know if truly you or an investigator or something like that who just investigates the situation to look at it from like a third person perspective. Those kind of people are unbiased witnesses. So oftentimes those kind of people get a lot more credibility than your family members do when they stand in as a witness for you in any case. That's the same way it is when it comes to your academics, when it comes to your application. The school is looking for an unbiased witness, a credible witness. I hope I'm getting through to you guys. A credible witness. And I want us to hold on to that word credible because we're going to refer to it again shortly. Okay. I don't know why. All right. So now it brings me to my second question. What do you think is the most important quality? What is the most important quality you think a referee should have? What is that quality you think a referee should have? You can let me know in the chat box. The quality you think a referee should have, or you can use the hand raising function and I would allow you on mute. Uranosen says integrity, okay? Any other person? Honesty, a good professional background, knowledge about you and your engagement, okay? That's from Amira. Communication, all right. Credibility. Any other person? All right. No problem. We'll move along. Okay, Olajesto is using the hand raising function. You can unmute and speak.
I think the most important trait, in addition to what has been mentioned, is that the referee should be willing to speak for you, because some people might recognize value, but they might not have the time. So they should be able to, they should be willing to give their time to you and to recognize the value that you have to offer in them giving this time to you.
Thank you very much. There's a key point you mentioned, willingness. It is extremely important, but we're going to get to it very soon. Enthusiasm, someone says, credible, experience, integrity, and professionally sound. Muhammad. Okay, let me ask Abel to mute. Abel, you can unmute now. Is Abel there? Okay, I think she. All right, moving along. So, willingness. I think that's the most significant quality. Oftentimes, I've seen students in the past say things like, oh, I reached out to this supervisor. I don't think they want to write a reference letter for me. Or I don't think they'll be willing to go through all that stress. That's the wrong person. That's not the kind of person you should be looking for a reference letter from. If a person is not willing to write the best possible reference letter on your behalf, that is the wrong person. Willingness is the key. Person can be credible. Hell, you can even get a governor to write a reference letter for you. But if the governor is not willing to write the best possible reference letter for you, that is the wrong person. You can get the COO of the organization to write a reference letter for you. Fine, good, fantastic. But if they would just write, oh, Amaka is a good girl, She works very hard. Do you think that's going to fly with any university? No, it's not. It's not even up to par. It's not even, there's nothing fantastic about it. So, here are major things you're going to learn. Number one, who should be your referee? Very important question. Remember the first question I asked? I said, if you're held at gunpoint, who are you calling? A lot of you said your mom, your dad, your sister, your, yes, but they don't qualify as your academic referees. So who is that person that should be your referee? Who is that person you are calling upon to write a letter on your behalf? Number two, how do you guide your referee on what to write about you? Remember, you can only guide someone that is willing. So if a referee is not willing to even work with you in the first place, abort mission. That's not the right person. You can only guide the person that is willing to work with you, the person that understands your struggle and is willing to, go through all that for you. Okay. Number three, maintaining the one document rule. How to maintain the one document rule? Look, if you are able to, all these things work together. If you have a willing referee, that means what qualifies a willing referee is that they are willing to write the best possible reference letter for you and they are receptive to your guidance of what you need to be written in your reference letter. Very important, right? It is only when they are willing and they are receptive to your guidance that you can maintain the one document rule. They work together. It is only when they are willing to receive your guidance. It is only when they are willing to write the best possible reference letter for you. It is only when they fully understand how important that goal is to you that they will be receptive to your guidance. And then you'll be able to successfully put together a document that fits into that one document rule. In getting, there's something we teach our candidates, the one document rule. If you want to learn more about that, this is your cue to sign up for our bootcamp. We have our boot campers present here today that can tell you in the chat box what the bootcamp has been to them. So guys, if you're here, if you are part of my level up gang of this cohort of this year, please let them know in the chat box some of the things you have learned from the bootcamp so that it motivates people and they understand. The one document rule is essential in your application process. And these reference letters, however many, whether they ask you to submit 3 references, 5 references, 6 references, it doesn't matter. It must fit into that one document rule. And then the final thing I'm going to ask of you guys, this would be my request of you. You're going to learn 3 things from me, and I'm going to request just one thing of you. Be open-minded. Okay? Whatever you think you knew before, whatever knowledge, residual knowledge you've had before, put them to the side and be open-minded to receive the information we are going to give you today. Okay? So, let's start off strong. Now, before I go any further, I would like to introduce our guest speaker. He's also one of our boot campers. He's currently a prestigious boot camper, a lawyer for that matter. So he understands what it means to get a witness. Okay? So I'm going to be introducing Michael Faleye. He would be our guest speaker for today, and he will tell you guys how he was able to secure the right reference letters that secured him a fully funded scholarship offer to pursue his LLM at the University of Georgia. Actually, Michael just resumed at Georgia this month. So I'm going to open up the floor. Michael, are you here? Do you have a few words for our audience of today? Just to say hi. You guys are still going to get to meet Michael later. Michael? Michael, are you
Um,
here?
yes, hello everyone. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yes, we can.
This is really a full circle moment for me because just like most of you, like I was like yeah on this platform last year, and I mean it's really humbling to like come back and like share this like share my own perspective on things basically. So my name is Michael Faleye. I'm a lawyer from Lagos, Nigeria, obviously. I've worked for 5 years before deciding to go for my graduate studies. I decided to go to the University of Georgia basically to pursue a degree in LL in business law. And I just resumed 2 weeks ago. I'm still trying to settle in and navigate my way around, but it's totally been a humbling experience, and I can't wait to share what I know, the little tips or strategies I know, so that you could also like navigate your way in your journey as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Michael. And we are so grateful that you obliged our invitation this time. Thank you so much. Okay. Um, Now, who is a referee? A referee provides a reference or recommendation letter that speaks to your academic, professional, and personal qualities. I read again. A referee provides a reference or recommendation letter that speaks to your academic, professional, and personal qualities. So, your reference letter is speaking to three areas of you as an individual. So let's say you're applying for a master's program, whether you're applying for a master's program in research, or you're applying for a PhD program, or you're applying for a course-based program, it doesn't matter. A complete reference letter should ideally speak to three aspects of you as an individual: your academic qualities, your professional qualities, and your personal qualities as an individual. Now, a recommendation letter, however, is a critical component of your application that will offer an external perspective. Remember the word external, okay? And this word is so important here. External perspective on your qualifications and potential for success in the program. It's not just a paper, it's not just a piece of paper, it's not just a document. It is a critical component of your application. When I say this, I want you guys' minds to go to being in the courtroom, defending a case. That's what it is like. You are making your case to the school. Hey, guys, I'm a worthy candidate. I deserve this fully funded scholarship. I deserve a seat in your class. This is Professor this that will speak to that. This is Director this that would plead my case to. This is this person that would do that for me as well. That's what your referees are doing. That's what your recommendation letter is doing for your application. Which is why I cringe when I see people when they just get any reference letter from anywhere. You can't do that. You can't do that. You have to be very, very strategic about every aspect of your application. Every single aspect of your application. Now, key attributes of a referee. You can see number one is credibility. Extremely important. Credibility. The referee should be respected in their field and have a solid understanding of your academic and professional interests. You can't just pick someone that knows nothing about you. In fact, sometimes when a referee is filling in the application requirements or requests or your reference letter request, they often ask, how long have you known these candidates? So imagine if the person doesn't even know you like that. What would they tick there? Number two, relevance. The referee should be someone who knows you well in a context that is related to the program you're applying for. For instance, if you are applying for a master's in public health, right? And you go and maybe you learnt bag making in the past, and you go and get a reference letter from someone who taught you bag making in the past. Does that correlate, guys? Let me know in the chat box. Does that correlate? Someone who taught you bag making, or maybe a fashion designer that you interned with previously, you go and get them to, it doesn't. It does not. It does not at all. So please, let's be very, very mindful of the kind of reference letters we put forward, the people we ask for reference letters, and just everything about our application. We have to be very deliberate and strategic about every aspect of this things. Number three, Number three, strong relationship with you. When I say strong relationship, I'm not saying this in terms of maybe you've known the person for years. That's not always relevant. Or maybe the person has an intimate relationship with you. That's not always relevant either. What I'm saying is maybe I worked with this person one-on-one on a project, or I contributed in a team where my contribution could not be overlooked within that team. That's what we mean by strong relationship here. I've worked closely with you, whether academically, maybe like your supervisor, for instance, your research supervisor. Obviously, you work closely with your research supervisor. Am I correct? You do. So that kind of person has a close relationship with you and a better understanding of your ability. And they are oftentimes in the best position to speak to specific aspects of you that they observed while you were working closely together. It's almost impossible to work closely with someone and not be able to pinpoint certain qualities that you see with that person. Oh, this person is resilient. Oh, this person has a can-do spirit. Oh, this person this person that. Those are qualities of an individual that you can tell and you can speak on if you have a strong relationship with them, if they work closely with you. So, what am I saying in essence? Sometimes your line manager might be a better referee for you than your CEO. Am I communicating to someone? Am I hitting some people with stray bullets? Your line manager, I know you don't like your line manager, I get it. But they might be a better referee for you than your CEO. Your team lead might be a better referee for you than this deputy governor of your state. I know we a lot of times people are so moved, they want a big name on it doesn't always work that way if they don't have anything to say about you. Especially when you're applying to competitive programs, it's not enough to say, oh, this person is good, this person is academically sound. How are we good? How am I good? How am I academically sound? What specific areas am I academically sound in? Oh, she can conduct research. What research have I conducted with you? What exactly have I done with you as an individual that makes me a good fit for this program? What have you seen? She has a can-do spirit. How does she have a can-do spirit? She's resilient. How is she resilient? Give examples in very, very short, simple ways. Remember what I said at the beginning. The most important quality your referee can have is willingness. Willingness to go the extra mile to just put down something really good for you. But you also have to play your role to make that happen. Okay, let's move along. So first, before we go on, I wanted to show us some recent, very, very fresh testimonials we've had from our boot campers. So this was one of our boot campers in 2023. She joined us in 2022. For 2023, she applied. Unfortunately, she got only 60% in scholarship in that year. And I had a chat with her back then, and she was like, "Oh, she's just going to try again," and things. And I was like, "Yes, girl, do you try again? You know, I'm rooting for you and all of that." I was over the moon when she shared a testimony recently about getting into Cornell University. As you all know, Cornell University is an Ivy League university. She got in. She didn't only get in, oh, she also won the prestigious UNLD Director Graduate Fellowship. It's a fully funded scholarship that covers your tuition and provides 22K plus in scholarship. Okay. She has gotten her visa and she's traveling to New York very soon. In fact, Ithaca, to be very, very, very specific. So this could be you guys if you are in this meeting right now and you're still wondering, oh my God, I don't really know if 100K is something I want to invest, you know, in. Think about it. This lady invested 100K. First of all, she secured 60K in scholarship, 60K that you did not work for. 60K that is not yours. She secured it in scholarship, but then that money was not enough at the time because it was just 60% of the money she needed. So she needed 100K at that time, right? But now she has secured an even amazing. I screamed literally when she sent this testimonial because I was so excited for her, because I know how hard she really worked for what she wanted. And now she's going to an Ivy League school. Brandeis is not even an Ivy League university. It's a great school, don't get me wrong, but it's not an Ivy League school. But now she is going to the prestigious Cornell University to study a master's in global development. What? So this can be you. I can see someone in the chat box say, I'm definitely attending the bootcamp. Look, I'm here to have you. I'm here to welcome you. I'm going to be your coach in the bootcamp and things like that. So absolutely, you're welcome. I would love to have you in the bootcamp. I would love to read a lot more testimonials by this time next year, sending you guys off abroad, giving you guys tips for your interviews and things like that. Like, these are the kind of things I live for. So the bootcamp is real. The results are real. Bootcampers, please let us know in the chat box what the bootcamp has been for you so far, so that it can motivate other people, so that you are not the only ones that will be shining this time next year, so that other people are shining alongside you. You guys get me. So please let them know in the chat box what the bootcamp has been for you guys so far. So let's move along. Now, how to choose the right referee. This is a very critical decision that you're going to make. Ideally, your referee should be someone whom you have interacted with recently, or even if it's not recently, but someone that you have left a strong impression on. And that's very important. Whose experience with you is relevant to the program you're applying to, very important as well. However, there are other factors to consider when selecting a referee for your graduate school application. This includes, number one, familiarity with your work. Like I said, someone that you have left a great taste on their mouth. Please don't pick someone that you have annoyed in the past. Okay? Someone that you have irritated so badly that they don't like you at all, at all, at all. Because you can never really tell what they write in your letter. Okay, so be very, very smart about who you're picking. Someone that you have left a very, very strong impression on. It's very important. A referee who knows your work or academic background well can provide specific and detailed examples. Remember what I said. It's not just telling them about you, it's describing you as an individual to the admissions committee. She's a good girl is not good enough. How is she good? She's resilient is not good enough. How is she resilient? What are the examples of her being resilient? Was there a deal in the office that it was almost impossible, but she pushed for it even though it took days, she had to stay extra hours after work, she did it anyway, and she closed the deal. Is that what your referee is going to write about you? Very important. Or as your supervisor, did we have challenges at the beginning of your journey, in writing your final pieces? But she stayed resilient, she worked really hard, she did all the findings, she did all the research, and she finally finished her research. Are those the kind of things your referees write about you? Specific examples. Don't tell me about it. Tell me how. Describe it to me. Okay? Now, position in the field. Select a referee who has relevant experience in the area you're applying to. But don't get fixated on their titles. Very important. I mentioned this earlier. It is more important that the referee can provide an informed and relevant perspective to your potential for success in the program. It is extremely, extremely, extremely important. Don't get fixated. Oh, they are the CEO. Oh, they are the founder. Oh, they are the chief of staff. Oh, they are the this. Those things are not the most important thing. The most important thing is the quality of things they write about you. Now, ability to speak to your strength. This is very important to me because this is why I tell people that it is not about picking big names. It is not about just picking somebody out of convenience. It is about picking people who can speak to your strength. We've talked about this. I've hammered this enough. Ensure that your referee can convincingly. And let me tell you guys a secret. I'm not meant to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Let me tell you guys a secret. If you don't know what the modes of persuasion are, look it up. Ethos, pathos, and logos. Very important when writing a reference letter. When writing anything in general, to be honest. Your essays, your reference letter, very, very important. Modes of persuasion. Credibility is a very important one there. Logic, which is logos. And then empathy, the emotions, which is the pathos. Very, very important. Credibility, logic, and emotion. Those three aspects must shine through. So when a person can speak to your strength, it depends on how they speak about your strength, how they mold the language, which is very important, which is why it's very important for you to pick someone that has very good knowledge of you, that has a great working relationship with you, and is willing to go the extra mile to make sure that what they are submitting about you is not just anything, but what the admissions committee needs to see about you. Moving along. Now, securing your recommendation letter. Here's how you ask someone to be your referee. I'm going to show us an example right after this. But first, let's just go through it. Who would like to be my reader? Usually, when I do programs like this, I always like to have a reader so that there can be some kind of engagement from my audience. So who would like to be my reader? You can use the hand raising function and I'll ask you to unmute. Anybody? Male, female, we're not. Okay, Sandra raised up her hand first. At least she's the one I can see here first.
Good afternoon, Jimmy.
Hi, Sandra.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so let's start. Number one.
Number one is reach out early.
Okay. Continue.
Contact your potential. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. Reach out early. Contact your potential referee well in advance. So give them ample time to consider your request and prepare a thoughtful recommendation.
Please, I've seen this happen before. Where you want a reference letter and you're reaching out to me like 3 days before, 1 week before, 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before, I will not answer you. Even me, I'm not even big, but even I will not answer you. Honestly, I tell the boot campers, like, if you know you have essay, anything to submit, and you know you need someone's help, it is disrespectful. And I put disrespectful in capital letter, in caps lock. It is extremely disrespectful to reach out to your potential referee a few weeks before you submit your letter. Who are you? You don't do that. That's the easiest way to put a sour taste in someone's mouth about you. So it is your responsibility to make sure that whatever you are submitting, you have reached out, whatever you're submitting, you have contacted this person months earlier. At the very least, give them a full month notice and do yourself a favor of putting 2 weeks gap. So that means a month and a half. Because you don't know how busy this person is. You don't know how much you have to run after the person. You don't know how much you have to beg the person. You don't know. So give them at least a month and a half notice. Hi, sir, I would love you to be my referee. Me personally, I give my referees like 3 months notice, and then I keep reminding them. Because I work with busy people. I know the nature of the people I work with, and I know the kind of people I want to write reference letters for me, obviously. So I make sure that I'm respectful of their time. Be respectful of people's time. Don't just spring it up on them. I would love you to be my referee. Who are you? Please. Okay, so I'm going to allow Chioma speak. Chioma, I've asked you to unmute. So please read number 2.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Be
Hi.
clear and number 2, be clear and direct. Clearly state your request to have them serve as your referee and explain why you believe they are the best person to provide a recommendation.
Good. Now, don't beat around the bush. I work with straight shooters personally, and I appreciate people that are direct with me. I appreciate directness. Like, don't waste my time, right? And I believe that most people of, most people of position and things like that also think that way. So if you need someone to be your referee, be direct about it. Just tell them, hi, sir. Of course, your approach matters, obviously, but don't perambulate unnecessarily and waste their time. Okay? Ask them, oh, hello, sir. So my name is this. I met you here. This, da, 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 da. If it's been a while you've spoken to them, introduce yourself properly. I met you here. I did this, and I would love you to be my referee. These are the specific things I would love, you to include. Things like that. Don't waste people's time on your long messages that only wind up to you just asking them to be your referee. It's not nice, it's not fair, and it's disrespectful. You see, I'm hammering respect a lot here because you remember you are asking people to be your witness for something. So it is important that you are as respectful as possible of their time and of them as individuals. Moving along, James, you can unmute and speak. Is James here?
Yes, ma. Sorry, I raised my hand so I could read, but then you already
Of
called
course, you
someone
can
else.
read. Number 3. There are many numbers.
Okay, so provide context. Briefly explain the program you are applying to and why you are pursuing it, so the referee understand the importance of their role.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Provide some context. Don't just say, oh, I want you to write referee. Okay, what? Okay. You want me to write referee for you? Congratulations. What do you want me to write? What would you like me to write? You don't give me any context. You don't explain what you want from me. You don't tell me anything. If you don't tell me anything, if you don't guide me, I would just write whatever comes to mind. and that doesn't serve in your own best interest. Okay? Moving along. I don't know who this is, but Dell, I've given you the opportunity to unmute and speak. Read the next one if you're here.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
I'm Robert.
afternoon,
I'm Robert by
Robert.
name.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Okay. The next is offer to discuss further. Offer to discuss further. Suggest a meeting or a call to discuss your request in more detail and answer any questions they may have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So this is specifically important if you have not spoken to the person in a while, or if you don't really know the person that well. Maybe you worked with them on very short project and that was it, or something like that. So if that's the case, talk to them about a potential meeting, just to familiarize yourselves, bring them up to speed, or just familiarize with them, period. Or, just to break that ice a little bit more. You can do that. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's not everybody that you would like to be a referee for you, that you have like a great rapport with. You might have just worked with them on a short project, but that project was a big deal. And you want maybe the manager of that project to write a reference letter for you, which is completely fine. Approach is very, very important. There's this Yoruba proverb that says, you can say a word, it brings cola nuts from someone's pocket, but then you can say the same word and it brings a knife out of the person's pocket. So your approach is the defining factor of what you get out of this journey. All right. Ore, you can unmute and speak.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'll just read the
Hi.
next.
Yes,
Hi. I'll just read the next one. It says, provide the templates. Your referee might be too busy to write a letter from scratch, so having the template saves them a lot of time.
See, I cannot emphasize this one. Provide templates. You see, there are certain things that are super important that you might want your referee to highlight about you. You are not doing yourself any favor at all if you just tell them, oh, sir, please, let me write a reference letter. Yes, thank you, sir. And you just leave it to them to do it by themselves. Oh, what if they don't write it? What if they tell their secretary to write it? And their secretary doesn't know you from anywhere, and they just type some generic thing and submit it on your behalf. Take the initiative. When you're asking them, you can say, oh, sir, I'm also happy to provide a draft, that can just make the work easier. Don't make it seem as if you want to be the one to write a reference. Of course, you have to apply wisdom. Wisdom is essential. You tell them, so I'm happy to provide a draft, or oh, ma'am, actually happy to provide a draft. I know you're very busy. I know how busy things are, and I'm happy to provide a draft to make the process seamless for you. You are make it seem as though you are trying to make their life easier. Do you understand what I'm saying, guys? Am I communicating to you guys? Let me know in the chat box if you are getting everything I'm saying, and if you are noting them down. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, so I'm not sure who this is, but I can see Huawei Y9. So please unmute and speak.
All right. Sorry. That was a mistake on my part. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay.
Good afternoon. It's fine.
Express gratitude. Thank them sincerely for considering your request, acknowledging the time and effort it will require on their part. Thank you.
Yes. You see, someone sitting down and submitting a reference letter for you, sitting down and even submitting it for you, especially when you know if they are not busy people, the fact that they will sit down, spend their data to upload a reference letter on your behalf, or spend their time in front of a laptop, time is money. If someone is willing to spend their time or contribute their time to your success, you must appreciate them for that thing. If not, they will not do it for you another day. Trust me, they won't do it for you another day. You must appreciate them for their time. That time spent, you must say thank you. You must say, I'm really grateful that you're willing to do this for me. I appreciate you very much, ma. I'm very grateful for your kindness, sir. Very important. I have people in my life today that if I need reference letters, I can go to them any day, anytime, and I know they would do it for me. How dare I now become very entitled? Like, oh, because they always do it for me, I'll not be saying thank you again. Who am I? You don't do that. Someone says, can one also connect with a potential recommender whom you worked with in a short, okay, by reviewing one of their public, okay, of course you can. You reviewed one of their publications. Yes, you can. And how it interests you. Yes, you can. See, there are many ways to get a recommender. I just feel like a lot of times people are too lazy to go through those different ways. People are too lazy to make those sacrifices. But hello, you can't be lazy to make sacrifices that will potentially help you get to where you want to go. Like, you don't do that. You can't be lazy about those kind of sacrifices. You can't. You just can't. Okay? So moving along. Now, I will need another reader for this part. So anyone who will be willing to be my reader, the person will read through. I'm going to read through this example. Okay, Aurelu, I raised up her hand first. So unmute and speak.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Okay, I'll read now. Dear
Okay.
Mr. Oyewale, I
Okay.
trust this message finds you well. I also hope you had a fantastic birthday celebration yesterday. As an alumnus of the second LMI fellowship, I respectfully request your assistance with 3 reference letters for my upcoming applications to the University of Michigan, the University of Oxford, and the University of Cambridge in 2024. Specifically, I would appreciate it if the letter could address 2 aspects. First, my participation in the LMI program and my collaborative efforts in research projects, articles, or any political or policy analysis publication materials. Additionally, I would greatly appreciate it if the references are written in your capacity as the chairman of the LMI Fellowship and as the senior special assistant to the president on international cooperation. Recognizing that we haven't had the opportunity to work together directly, I am eager to offer my research skills, policy, and political analysis knowledge to your office for 3 months, from June to August 2024. This service would allow for a genuine assessment of my abilities and provide valuable insights into my potential to excel in a competitive educational environment. Your support and guidance in this matter would be immensely appreciated and will significantly contribute to my career and educational endeavors. Thank you for considering my request, and I eagerly await your response.
Now, what are some of the things you guys noticed in this? You can use the hand raising function and you'll be asked to unmute, because this is an interactive webinar. I'm not just going to talk away. Use the hand raising function. Okay, I can see Ikmat. You guys feel free to turn on your cameras. Oh, I'd like to see you guys. Oh, especially when you are speaking, so that people can really feel your energy. So, but it's all right. So,
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Hi, Jimmy.
hi.
Okay, so the first thing I noticed was she was a bit clear on what she wanted.
Okay.
And also she provided like a context to what she wanted to do.
Okay.
Including just like we learned recently, she also gave the opportunity to liaise personally with the referee.
Okay.
So, and lastly, she expressed gratitude.
Okay.
That's what I've said so far. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Abidemi, if you want to speak, you can use the hand raising function. You'll be asked to unmute and you speak.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
All right, fantastic then. In addition to what the first speaker said, I just feel like this particular person is not lazy, according letting further credence to what you raised earlier, in the sense that this candidate offers their own skill, so to say, their own analysis, tending to serve as the referee or the recommender assistant, so to say, or so to speak, for 3 months in order to closely facilitate that particular interaction very well. So I believe this particular method actually speaks so much sense to me. Like I could really see a great sense in what the person offers to do. So I believe that this actually sets the thing apart.
Right. Right. Thank you so much. Okay. Ola, just stop for me. You can unmute.
So there are three main things I noticed about this reference letter. First of all, this person is detail oriented and specific, because he or she didn't just say, I want reference letters. The person specified 3 reference letters and the schools. So the recommender already knows ahead that, okay, it is 3 that he would need, not that he will first ask for 1, then another one, then another one. Then
Bless
number
your
2,
heart.
yes, thank you. Then this person is forward thinking, because this is for the months of the person is starting the journey towards the recommendation letter very early, because applications usually start in September. Is offering his or her services from June to August, which shows you that the person is preparing ahead, and this person is forward thinking. He or she knows they will need a reference by September, and they are working towards it. And like the former person said, this person isn't lazy. Everything that this this email culminates in is that it just shows that this person is willing to put in the work, and this person would do great in graduate school.
Okay. Very good. So finally, Temi Lola.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon,
Good
Ma.
afternoon. Good afternoon. Hi.
Hi. I'm so sorry that I won't be able to
No,
show
it's
my
fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
so much. Okay, so one thing that I noticed in the letter, like everybody has said, the person is very detailed. He or she knows what he or she wants. But one major thing that just stood out for me in this letter is the politeness in the letter. So it's a formal letter, but the person did not just go straight to the letter. Like he or she was like, "Oh, I hope you had a fantastic birthday celebration yesterday." So he or she was quite polite enough to even though, yes, I want to request something from you, but let me just be polite and before going straight to business. In as much as, yes, it's formal, we have to be formal. So that's like one major thing I took from the letter. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys. I think you guys have said significant things, which makes me very happy. And wherever you are, I want you to just take a screen grab of this. I know some of you have done it already, but I'm giving you the permission to take a screen grab of this. This is an ideal structure of what your reference letter should look like, or your request should look like, especially when you don't really have, maybe you only worked with the person for a limited amount of time. Remember, this person only had an interaction with this person during a fellowship. You don't know how short the fellowship was or how long ago the fellowship was. Do you get what I'm saying? But they want to reignite that person's memory of their work ethic. So they say, you know what? I'm not just going to ask you for a reference letter based off of that fellowship, because I want you to write a very thorough reference letter on my behalf. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer my services to your office for 3 months. And imagine how long ago this person must have put forward this request for them to be able to say from June to August, I'm working with your office, when applications open in September, just like Olaji Stofumi mentioned. So being a great planner helps. This person is not making this request after application has opened. They're not making requests a few weeks before application closes. They started earlier in the year. So I'm telling you guys right now, if you know you have the intention of applying, whether in September, October, November, December, January, February, it doesn't matter. And you know that you have some referees that you really want them to write a fantastic references on your behalf. You've not communicated with them in a while, and you have still not reached out to them by now. I don't know what to say to you. I honestly don't know. I don't. So after this call, when we are done here today, one thing I want all of you to do is list out all your potential referees. Everybody. People are always surprised. I still have relationships with some of my professors in uni. Do you know since when I've graduated from university? Over 7 years now. But I still have relationship with some of my professors in uni. Yes, if I did a reference letter for my university today, I will get a reference letter for my university today. I can't relate when people say, "Oh my God, I I don't know any of my professors." What? I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I have an alarm on this is my phone. I have alarms on my phone. I don't remember everybody's birthdays. My brain doesn't work that way, obviously. But I have an alarm on my phone that reminds me of sending messages to people on important dates. Maybe Easter, send them happy Easter, Sabs, Easter. It literally takes nothing out of you to do that. Like important people in your life, important people that you know that you might need one day or another. Honestly, it takes nothing of you. If I open my Google Calendar, you will just be seeing green, red, green, red, green, red all over the place, because there are reminders upon reminders. Even people that I don't talk to, I have their birthdays on my Google Calendar. I've not spoken to them in years, but I still have their birthdays on my Google Calendar. And it's the fact. It's just there. I can't understand it. This person, the person's birthday, I don't know, I can't remember, maybe April or May, but it was on my Google Calendar. So I remembered that this person had a reference letter or something like that. Had a birthday or a wedding anniversary. I don't know anything. You just remember. Because your Google Calendar, people will think you have great memory, but you don't. Thank God for Google Calendar. And honestly, it takes nothing out of you. Like, you want a reference letter from your boss in the office. Like, I'm not a sucker. I genuinely am not that kind of person. I don't kiss up to people at all. I don't do it. It's not in my nature. All of my colleagues can testify to that. I don't do it. But there's something called being intentional about things, putting your best foot forward. Remember, when you're going on a first date, how do you guys dress? Let me know, ladies, men, in the chat box, let me know. How do you dress when you're going for a first date interview? How do you dress when you're going for, did I just say first date interview? A first date or an interview. How do you guys dress? Let me know in the chat box. How do you dress? captivating, sparkling. Exactly. Gorgeous. That's how you do it. And never been on one. That's a serious situation. Okay. Impressively. Presentable. Did Fadipa just say diaper? What's that? Talking stage. The best I can be. Yes. When you know that you want a reference letter from your team lead in the office, this is the time for you to be thoughtful. It's in the weird way where it seems like you are kissing up to them. But what is wrong with you bringing a cup of coffee for them in the morning? It will not kill you. It will not kill you. Buying them that coconut chips they like, just buying one, I'm not kidding. It will not kill you. You know that you need a reference letter this year. And you have professors from your school that you have not spoken to in years. You do not greet them Happy New Year. You do not greet them Happy Easter. You do not greet them Happy Holiday. You did not check up on them. Hello, sir, how are you doing today? I just wanted to check up on you. You didn't do any of that. You did not offer. Maybe it's a professor that you want to write a reference letter for a PhD for you. See, someone said I subscribe DSTV for my lecturer. I don't know about that one, but I mean, you can do that. You can afford it, obviously. You did not do any of those things, yet you want them to go above and beyond to write a reference letter. You are a joker. You are joking. You must be willing to see. People will always give a lot for value. I promise you guys, if you always go to someone with some kind of value, I promise you, you will get a lot from that kind of person. I'm not kidding. You will get a lot. I remember when I was trying to apply to graduate school, I was talking to one of my professors on the phone, and one of my other professors had died during that time. I was so shocked. It was a professor I was actually really close to. I was so shocked and confused. I ran out of the office that day, and I ran out to call one of my other professors to just hear the gist. He was like, Jimmy, in fact, out of panic, when I was trying to recharge 5,000 naira on my phone, I went to recharge 50,000 naira on my phone and all. And this professor had been really good to me. He had been very, very helpful to me. You know what I did after the call? I transferred 50,000 to his account. Not because of anything, but because he didn't expect it. And do you know what happens? This has happened years ago. Till today, I still reap the benefit of that 50,000. 50,000 that I've forgotten about. I still reap the benefit of that money to today. Now, I'm not saying you should send money to your professors. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying be thoughtful. Be thoughtful. You want a professor to write a reference letter for you. You know that the semester is coming to an end where they'll be marking results. Why not offer to say, oh, sir, I'm happy to help you with marking. I'm going to pay for the DHL. You can DHL the papers to me and I'll DHL them back to you. If you nothing more than 1,000 at max, or maybe 20,000 maximum to do that. But that thing will leave a lasting impression on your professor's mouth that he will not forget it. It's little things, little things, and they add up. They say little drops of water make a mighty ocean. They add up. In your office, are you the kind of person that, just does nice things for people? All these things, boomerang effect, it adds up. You're just helpful for no reason. Okay. So like I said, you guys take a screen grab of this. It will come helpful. It will come in handy when you are trying to craft your request to people that you want to be your supervisor, things like that. And if you want your CEO to work with you or write a reference letter for you, this might also come in handy. I don't know how it might work in your situation, but it might come in handy as well. Okay, so just keep that in mind, guys. Okay, moving on. Now, this is also another testimonial I wanted to share with you guys. Also, one of our boot campers from 2023. She got a fully funded scholarship to the University of Notre Dame. In fact, but not just even Notre Dame, also got to London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, full scholarship. So this can be you guys. This is also someone who got into Queen's University, University of Calgary in Canada. So whether your interest is Canada, whether your interest is US, whether your interest is in the UK, Australia, we've had it all. And the bootcamp is the right place for you guys. Trust me, it is the right place for you guys. And that's not all. You also get a 20% discount off when you join. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. It is a huge opportunity. Typically we charge 100,000, but for this you're going to pay 80,000 naira, which is a huge discount considering things and considering that we've not been offering quite that amount of discount to a lot of people. So I mean in other webinars and things like that, but you guys get that special consideration for being a part of this webinar. So please, please, and please, if you're still thinking about it, if you're deliberating on it, please consider joining our bootcamp. And this could be your own testimonial that I'm reading by this time next year to our next cohort. All right. Now, there's something we call an introductory letter. And this is a letter that you send to your potential referee, or a draft that you send to your potential referee that kind of summates everything about you up until that moment. Now, there are specific details that should be on that document. Number one, program details. I mentioned that earlier. Why you're pursuing the program, recent work, studies, and achievements, specific abilities, qualities to highlight. Don't just say, I'm a software engineer. You can briefly speak on the software you have developed, the amount of users it has, the amount of what the software does, the amount the software has been able to generate, or the amount the software has been able to help your organization save. Don't be scanty about your responses. Be very deliberate when you write these documents. Okay. Another one is clear submission or writing guidelines. Clear submissions or writing guidelines. So it's very, very important. Like I said, the draft you're going to prepare is not just speaking about, oh, I worked here, I did this. Show impact in what you're writing so that your referee or potential referee knows how to coin this into a letter. Okay. Now, avoid these common mistakes, and I'm going to leave them at two. Selecting a referee solely based on their titles or prestige, not good, not right. I said this already at the beginning, not the best decision. Choosing someone who hasn't had recent interaction with you. The only exception to this, and I'm going to make this very clear, the only exception to this is if you're going to offer your service to that person. So for instance, the example you guys saw about the interaction might have been a while back, fine. But if you're going to be offering your service to that person, then it makes things better. Because now, yes, while you might have worked maybe 2-3 years ago, you've worked more recently and the person can speak to who you are right now. Okay. So now I'm going to leave the floor for Michael to speak, for you guys to hear from our special guest, Michael. Please, guys, if you have your hands up, you can put your hands down for now. I can see some hands up. Put your hands down. There'll be time for you to ask questions. We're going to get to that very soon. But for now, I want you guys to hear from Michael because I know he's itching to speak to you guys as well. So Michael, you have the floor. Is Michael here?
Hi, Jimmy. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can, and I
Okay.
believe everyone can.
Okay. Thank you once again. So I think you've really said it all, basically. So I'm going to just reemphasize on what you have said, with respect to like choosing the right referee for your application. I think first of all, I would like to start with I think you should for like the most people here, you should not be cringy in the sense that you should when you're approaching your lecturers or your professors or your mentors, because people do have that will I say fear that, oh, this person might reject me, or he might not speak as to my capabilities as I want to. So I think for most people, you really need to like take that out. Like I feel like you should even start getting used to no by now, because I mean you are just asking for recommendation letters now. You've not even started applying to schools and the like. So I mean, start getting used to no right now, and also as she has said, or like from the like from the slides, start as early as possible. Like I don't even think I even think a month or 2 months is like start with at least 3 months before like the application even starts. 3 to 6 months. It gives you ample time to like, know who your potential like recommenders are going to be, the people that can speak best to your interest, and also most importantly, try to have backup plans to avoid stories that such, because the person that you might be thinking will be of assistance to you. I mean, for some reason, even if it's not, it might not be to their it might not be their fault, or maybe it's circumstances beyond their control. They are not willing to help you at that particular point in time, and you cannot really take it out on them, basically, because at the end of the day, we are all humans. So I feel like have to have at least like, would I say maybe four like potential like referees. Like I mean,
10.
obviously have yeah, like 4 to 6. If you can have at least 10, that's good,
Yeah.
and all that. So just try to have people that that if plan A doesn't work, plan B and plan C will definitely work. Also, I feel like you should also try, me personally, I prefer meeting them physically, because there's this I mean, it does justice rather than just calling out of the blues or sending. I think the worst is even like sending a text message, or, I mean, I'm not saying you can't send a text message or an email, but let it be like your last resort. If you can meet them physically or you could call them, please advise that you do that, basically, because you need to establish um, that connection or that relationship and that rapport, basically. Also, don't beat around the bush. Like, don't say that I want to do this, and just go straight to the point. Tell them that, oh, this is what you need them for, because they are extremely busy people. Like, it's not just let's say you that they came to come and write a recommendation letter for. Like, they have maybe classes they are doing, or they have work that they also even have like personal issues, like family issues and stuff like that. Like I said, they are human beings, basically. So you need to like, go straight to the point and don't beat around the bush. Then I think you also really want to like know the kind of recommender that you want to have on your like want to speak for you on your letter. So in that instance, like you want them to like be intentional. Like you don't just want the generic template that, oh, you went to my class, or he was attentive, or she was a brilliant student. You need them to like give that extra like, will I say, spice or ingredients to like your letter, basically, that can convince the admission committee on why they should like accept you into their program. And they can cite instances whereby maybe where you worked on a particular task or on the project, or even if when you even submit the drafts to them, you also have to like give instances yourself, maybe when you were like in a leadership position, or you were in some extracurricular activities and the likes. And some of them are even that like helpful in the sense that they even go the extra mile to like put finishing touches for you, way better than you would even expect. So for instance, in my situation, I remember meeting like a particular like two lecturers, and these were not even people that were like professors, so to speak. And at the end of the day, when I saw my reference, because they will actually share, some will show you a copy of what they sent. And when I saw it, I was really, really touched because it was even more than what I even, gave them in the draft. Basically, like it was really, really intentional. Like I was even happy like to even say that. And thankfully, one of them now is now the dean of my faculty. So I mean, like having that relationship, I know that has really, helped me. And I know that definitely now, if I need him for any other thing, I can always go back and meet him. So that's just it that you really want to know basically. Then, like I said, express gratitude. Like I can't really overstate it. Like you just have to like be grateful because these people really like took their time out of their busy schedule to like assist you. And it would be really, really like ungrateful if you are not even like, appreciative of what they've done. And also like even if you don't need to, you might not necessarily need to remember by their maybe remember their birthdays or like a particular celebratory post or something, but just occasionally, like just say, oh, you just want to check in and you just want to like reach out and hope they are doing well. How is the family? That sort of thing. Like just channel your inner, what's his name? Channel your inner Sabinius. Like, how is the family? Well done, sir. That sort of thing. And it just keeps you in mind, like it keeps you in mind basically. I think that is basically what I want to say with respect to like touching on what's Jimmy and what the essence of this webinar. But if anybody has any question for me, I'm willing to like answer as soon as possible.
Oh my, thank you so much, Michael. Okay, so before we move along, I just want you guys to know we're going to do something special, or rather, it just came to mind for me. So I'm willing to share a sample introductory draft with you guys and a sample reference request draft with you guys via your emails, but you have to fill a form and then you receive it in your emails by latest next week, Tuesday. So I'll have our team members drop the link in the chat box. So you go ahead and fill the form. Please, guys, can you drop the link? Titi or Adesha or anyone, can you please drop the link in the chat box? Okay, thank you so much. So once you fill that link, it has already dropped in the chat box. So once you fill that link, you're going to get a document latest by next week, Tuesday, that covers or that carries the information about the sample reference letter draft and the sample request letter as well. So thank you guys. While we are doing that, we're just going to talk a little bit more. This is another testimonial we got recently of someone who got into University of Arkansas School of Law for her law degree. It was also a fully funded opportunity. And let me just play this testimonial because I don't know, this testimonial holds a big place for us right now. So let me just play for you guys to hear. Okay. So this was one of our boot campers who was sharing our experience of taking the boot camp, and then someone walks in and sees her doing that, and the person expressed interest in being a part of the boot camp, and kind and generous of her, she shared the information with the individual. And I'm not sure if the person has paid, but I believe so. So this is just to show that our boot camp is not just word of mouth. Recently, this year, someone, as you can see, 10th of June 2024, this person got the Think Big Scholarship for University of Bristol, £26,000 in full tuition fees. So this could be you. And I really, 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 I mean, with what Nigeria is saying right now, it blows my mind. Okay. This other person on the right, this person did not just win one MasterCard scholarship, person won three. I've never seen such a thing in my life. Three MasterCard scholarships across three schools. Person won for Oxford, person won for Cambridge, and I believe the person won for, I think, University of Berkeley or something. But there were three MasterCard scholarships that this person won. It blows my mind till now. So I just encourage you guys, if you're still contemplating whether you want to join our bootcamp or not, it is a great family and you stand huge chance of learning a lot of things. Okay, so now we've gotten to the questions. You can use the hand raising function if you have questions regarding references, regarding the bootcamp. We are happy to answer your questions. Okay, so I'm going to start with iPhone, and then we're going to go to Ogene or Yoma. You can unmute iPhone.
Hello, good morning. Afternoon rather. Sir, I don't know if you can hear me. I wanted to ask if it's possible to make a draft for our referrals because, I don't think, the only person I think of are my lecturer that I'm not really in good terms with them. And I hear you say that, the informations in the referrals have to be very strategic. So I don't know, is it possible for me to prepare some type of application and just send it to them for them to adopt? Do you think that's like an option?
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about, that there are so many ways to approach getting a reference letter from people. But at the end of the day, if you're saying your referees you're not on good terms with them, looking at it critically and logically, do you think those are the kind of people you want writing a reference letter for you? Because my thoughts would be you spend some time rebuilding that relationship earlier on, so that by the time, so for instance, you want to go to graduate school next year, right? By January, February this year, you should have started working on that relationship gradually towards your application of this year for next year. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So for lecturers who you feel you don't have great relationship with, offer them your services for free. I made an example. I made a suggestion. I said, you can very easily tell them, hey, sir, I know, you just finished a semester. I'm happy to help you in marking. I had an A1 in this program and I'm very well versed on it. I'm willing to pay for the DHL for the papers to be sent to me. I'll mark them and send them right back to you. I don't think there's any lecturer that would outrightly turn that down. They might turn it down, but if you are built well enough, I don't think they will. Do you get what I'm saying? For instance, that letter, that sample I showed you guys where the person was wished a happy birthday. Trust and believe that a happy birthday message went before that message came in the next day. Do you understand? A happy new year message must have gone in before that happy birthday. Because you really have to be very strategic about these things. So, and specifically for you who says you don't have a great rapport with your professors, you need to spend a little bit more time repairing that relationship, because you can't get the best out of them. Some people can be very difficult in such a way that they won't accept a draft from you if they don't have a great rapport with you. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Organo Yama. Oh, were you the one speaking
No, I was
initially?
not the one. No,
Who
no.
was the
I'm the next
person?
person.
Who was the person? Okay, I think the person just had iPhone. Okay, let's move on. You can ask yours. Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? Okay. Temilola, you can unmute and speak.
Okay, good evening. Sorry, good afternoon. Thank you so much for this webinar. So my question is, okay, for example, now I'm still an undergraduate. I'm not done. I'm in
Okay.
400 level. I'm going to be done next year by the grace of God. So I wanted to
Okay.
ask that who do we reach out to when we are ready to like start this process? You know, like, is there anybody that we get to reach out to when we're ready to start like the process to join the boot camp?
Oh, absolutely. Just send us a DM. It's that simple. On Instagram, please can someone drop our link? If you're not following us yet, you can just follow us and you can send us a DM. That's it. That's all you need to do, really. Just a simple hi or hello is all you need to do. Okay. Our link to our Instagram page, yes, the link is in the chat box. So just send us a DM in the a DM. That's all you need to do. Okay. Okay, the next person, Abidemi.
All right, thank you very much for this, Jimmy. My question is based on the learning objective you shared quite early, and one of it is how to prepare one-page document of a thing. And during the course of the presentation, I noted that you didn't really delve into it. So I wouldn't
No,
know if you could just expatiate on it.
I didn't say I was going to teach you how to. You want to take all
Okay.
our boot camp material. I said
No, not
I
at
said
all. Because
I
it's
said
not okay.
wait, just wait. I said maintaining the one document rule is what I said. Maintaining the one document rule. I didn't say I was going to teach you how to. That's our old boot camp. Oh, if I sit down here and teach, hey, Miriam will beat my bum bum. That's our old boot camp. If I sit down here to teach you how to create the one document, hey, I know my guy will sack me. So maintaining the one document rule. I really like that question. So one of the things I like to do when I want to apply for anything, when I'm applying for a job, it doesn't matter what I'm applying for, any opportunity at all. One thing I like to do is I like to pick a thing. Okay. I think of myself and I want to pick a thing or a phrased thing or a single word thing. So one thing I love to pick on the most is excellence and resilience. That's something I love working with the most. Excellence and resilience. Excellence and resilience. That's a theme I love to work with the most. Meaning, throughout my work, throughout my essay, my references, my CV, every aspect of my application, you're going to see signs of excellence and me as a resilient individual. Do you understand what I'm saying? Am I communicating? Who asked that question? Please, if you've asked your question, put your hand down. But the person who asked the question now, is it Oluwadam Lola? Let me know in the chat box. Is it Oluwadam Lola that asked the question just now? Okay, James. Okay, it's James. Can you use the hand raising function so I can find you? Okay.
Yes, hello,
Are you
hello.
there?
Can you hear me?
Oh, wait a minute. The person who asked the question just now, who is that person? Epidemic.
Yes, Jimmy, I'm with you.
Yeah, but I said you should put it in the chat box if you were the one. Okay, you just did.
Yes,
All right.
I did twice, yes.
Okay, that's fine. So pick a theme or pick a phrased theme, maybe leader, hardworking, resilient, or meticulous, whatever the theme is, and let that flow throughout all your documents. So even when your referees are writing something about you, let them allude to you being an excellent person, let them allude to you being a leader, kind of thing. But I cannot teach you how to create a one doc. No, you have to join our bootcamp for that exclusivity. Okay. And of course, it's
Yes, I
fun.
get
You
that.
would, yeah, but when it comes to maintaining that one document structure, just pick a theme and let that flow throughout all your documents. That's it. Do you understand? But
All
the
right, thank you.
integrity,
Yes, thank you very much. Thank
yeah,
you. Yeah.
absolutely. Okay. So Oluwadamilola.
Hi, Jimmy. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Please, I wanted to ask if, for instance, now for where I schooled, a lot of lecturers have left. So now they are lecturing in other schools. So is it possible to still ask them to send a reference, knowing that it won't have
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. They know, look, the world knows that people change jobs all the time. It's nothing new. Absolutely.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
they might be working in Babcock University now, but maybe they were in Unilag before. Why not?
Okay, so that's the first question. Then second question
Okay.
I have is during the meeting you mentioned, as well as our guest speaker, he mentioned as well that having more about 10 references, well, about that number makes sense, like so that in case you have this person doesn't come through, at least you have a lot of backups. So a challenge I'm having is that, like, I don't have so many lecturers to ask to assist with that, because a lot of them, they even lecture me while I was in school, and then some of them have even left, like I mentioned earlier. So it's almost as if I have like 3 people, and then like 2 out of them are not even reliable, and now I have to still try and find what I can do about it. So for my particular situation,
So
what
when we say 10 people, we're not necessarily saying all academic.
Okay.
Do you understand? So it could be professional, a mixture of professional and academic referees. There are some schools that insist that you submit only academic referees. So obviously, in that kind of a school, you have to seek your academic referees, or maybe someone who is not necessarily a professor, but you have done a research with, or has taught you in one capacity or the other. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, let's say you did ICANN classes. Maybe your tutor for your ICANN classes can be a referee that can speak to your academic prowess. Do you get what I'm saying? Or you
Okay.
took GRE classes. Your tutor there can speak to your academic prowess as well, obviously, because they must have taught you for at least a period of maybe like 3 months or 6 months, depending on your duration of preparation, right? So those are factors to look at. So when I say have a list of about 10 people, not necessarily saying they should all be academic, obviously. I mean, hello, I don't know up to 10 people, 10 lecturers right now from when I know. It's not possible. Maybe I know like a handful of people, maybe like 4 people right now. It's maximum. So obviously tempered expectation. And then when you have left school for a while, oftentimes universities have concession for you, especially if you've left more than 5 years ago. Do you get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they give concessions. They say you can get professional because they know, they are not dumb. They know that there's a possibility that your professors are not there anymore. You've lost contact with them. Anything might have happened, right? So they often give concessions. And if you're confused about it, always tell candidates, reach out to the school. Send them an email. Let them know your situation. Ask them the questions specifically and wait for their response. So does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Okay. I think Nengi is the next person. Wait a minute. Okay. I think. Okay. Eva.
Oh, hi, Jimmy. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you so much for all you do. I have a question. I think it was, yes, earlier this year, I applied for a scholarship and they requested for an academic staff and a lecturer or a professor. That's a reference letter from both of them. And I spoke to my registrar and he was willing to give me a reference later. And I have a good relationship with him. In fact, he is my school father. And then I also gave him a draft of what I needed, but he did not use it and he went ahead to use his own. And it was just like something he got from the website, internet, and he just wrote everything. So in that situation, what do you do? Do I go ahead to look for another referee? Or
Did you say it's your godfather?
No, school father.
It's your school father. You should be
Yes.
able to go back to your school father and say, Daddy, this is not going to work. If it's really your school father.
Yes, I
mean,
actually did.
Okay. And what did he say?
He did not give me audience. He just went ahead to use.
That one is fake school father. Eh? Xbox. He's school father to you. You're not school daughter to him. That's what it means. So, that's not the right referee. Remember, willingness, extremely important. The person's willingness to work with you. It is extreme. I can't even emphasize that enough. Okay? So, in that kind of a situation, you find someone else. Does that answer your question? Who was speaking? Are you mute? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to allow Michael answer some questions. So you guys direct your questions to Michael. And Michael, are you here? Yeah. So would you be interested in answering a few questions?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So guys, address your questions to Michael. Let Michael answer some of your questions. If they're specific, like technical, I'll come in. But otherwise, let Michael answer some of the questions. All right, guys. Dale, you can speak. Speak, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Michael. How are you?
Good afternoon.
I am Robert by name. I
Okay.
have a questions on clarification. One is it advisable to request for your referee when you have sent a draft to him to get you a copy of the letter he has compiled, considering you to get you a feedback, a copy of the letter before submitting it for your own perusal? and to ensure that what he has written concerning you is in line with your own line of thought. Second of my question is that must it necessarily be someone who have evaluated you academically stand in charge to write a lovely letter about you? Will you be more advisable to use someone you have worked with, or a secret project, or in close contacts? Why do I ask this question? Like most of us that have been a while, that you have left academic environment and they have not really in close touch with your academic tutors, could you consider using someone you are presently working with as your advisor?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Roberts, for those questions. So the first question, if I get you right, is if you could request a copy from your academic referee before submitting, so you
Yes.
can. Well,
you can peruse through it.
So I think it depends on the academic referee. So because for instance, now it depends on where you are applying to, because sometimes when you submit your application, it's not like as if you get to view it initially. It is your referee that sends it to the let's say to the academic committee of the school. But usually they're usually obliged to like send you a copy of what they sent, basically. So I think it depends on the rapport that you have with the academic referee or with your referee in that instance, whereby if it's someone that that can send you the copy of what he wants, of what he's going to send, then yeah, you should definitely go for it. But that is why most of the time it's very important to like give them a draft of what you want, so that they can work with it, and also trusting like their credibility. Like you said, all the like Jimmy said, the qualities of a good referee is the credibility, relevance, and I think the last one, I can't remember the last one, but I know you have to give someone that is credible, that can vouch for you and that can attest to your capabilities. So obviously you don't want to give someone like the last speaker said, the school father that will just do whatever he wants to do and stuff like that. So I think that is what you have to bear in mind. Your second question is
No.
respect.
No,
Okay.
why I asked that question is that most of them, if you have worked with them, you see that they are busy and most of them just have a general template they use. They just so and most of those general templates may not specifically speak to what you want to be the content of your destiny. So in a way, if you have a feedback, you could make your own input and send for him for his final destiny before he send. But most of them will just end up using this general template and send and ask you they have sent. And we agree they have sent. And the response, so that is why I ask, will it be advisable for you to humbly ask request for a feedback before he sent?
Yeah, you're totally spot on that. Yes. So I think you also have to like I said, you have to like be how will I put it? Like you have to like know the kind of person that your referee is. Do you understand? Like for instance, now if you know that kind of person this is the way he functions, you might be really skeptical about giving him your draft because you know that at the end of the day, that's what he's going to do. That is why it is very important for you to do your findings and all that on the kind of people that that they will be willing to express you the way you want it. Do you understand? But like I said, it's also important to also ask that if they will be able to share it. But I think before you get to ask them to share a copy, you should kind of know the kind of person they are before you embark on that journey. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Okay, I'm fine.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, then the second question, I mean, if you have left school for a long period of time, that's why they said the referee does not just cut across academics, it also cuts across like your professional circle, someone that can attest to like your work ethic and your personality basically. So I remember when I was applying to so there's this scholarship called the Knight NSC scholarship. I think that's for Stanford University. So I know I had to like reach out to people that I worked with because they were specific as to the kind of referees they wanted. You understand? People that actually worked with you. that could attest to like your work ethic and how you behave like in a work setting and stuff like that. So I had to reach out to my line manager as at the time at my previous office, and it was more than able to like provide me a good recommendation letter. So I think that's the best way you can go about it. So just have like a balance. It depends on the what the academic or what the admission committee is requesting. If it's purely academic referee, then by all means go for strictly academic referee. If they do not specify, you can mix the two. It could be academic and it could be professional. But I know that for most applications, they will tell you at least one academic referee. You understand? So it's always just good to have at least one academic referee in that kind of instance, basically.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Roberts.
And you're welcome.
All right, thank you so much. I think Michael has said it all. Aria, please let me know if I pronounce your name correctly or not.
Hello.
You can speak. Hi.
Hi.
Good
Okay, thank you
afternoon.
very much. Good afternoon. All right. My question is, sometimes during application process, not just for school, like scholarship, maybe also for other job roles and all, they will ask a question that do you want to, when they want to contact your referee, do you want to be aware first? Yes or no? So what's the best answer to that? Should I say yes, they should make me aware first before they contact my referee, or no, they can just go ahead anytime?
I I think it depends on the scenario or or what they're actually asking. So what do they mean by aware? Like they just want to know they just want you to know that they've contacted your
Mm.
referee. Is that it?
So this one is not, it wasn't a scholarship, it was a job role. But since today's topic is on referees, I say I should ask you. So I don't know
I
if the
think
house can help me. What's the implication of saying yes, contact me first before you contact my referee, or no, you can go ahead?
I
Can the
think
house
the
help me?
one I've seen often as regards what you're saying is contacting your referee like immediately, like before they invite you for an interview, is what I know of that happens often, you know. I don't know about making you aware before contacting your referee, but then I think if you're still working in a space and you're trying to seek for a job, in another place, I think you have to be very, very circumspect about how you go about it because you don't want to lose the job you have already. Do you understand? So I think it's okay that you ask them to make you aware if the person works within your job. However, if the person doesn't, I don't think there's an issue with that. Like for me, I would expect that once you put someone's name down as a referee in a job, you should let the person know. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I
Yes.
remember a friend of mine did that. She works in the UK. She put my name down as a referee. Immediately, she put my name down as a referee. She told me immediately, and they didn't even reach out to me immediately. It took about a month and a half. I just randomly saw the email asking me to submit a reference letter, and then I sent her a message. Oh, they sent me an email. She was like, ah, please, oh, please, oh. And I sent her, in fact, the reason she got that job. So yeah. So it's there's nothing wrong with you doing that, but I would just say you don't have to let them make you aware of it. Just know that before you put someone's name down as a referee, let the person know that you're about to do that. And it just
All
keeps you
right.
in the clear. So, but if you work within that space, make sure the person's name you're putting down is someone that is well trusted to you. So it works either way. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Right, the person doesn't snitch on you because
Mhm.
well, I mean, many things are happening.
All right, thank you very
So,
much.
yeah, absolutely. So I just wanted to step in for that one so that you don't disturb Michael for us. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
James.
Hi everyone. I don't know where to start from. So I wanted to ask this
Start
question
anywhere.
about okay. I wanted to ask a question about how the boot camp is going to be, but I could see your response in the chat already. But I don't mind if you can just maybe like walk us through like what's the duration like. And yes, for Michael. So I wanted to like ask Michael like so thank you for even making mention of Knight NSC scholarship. So I applied last year. I put in all the effort and I got the breakfast. And so I want to ask, like, how did you feel like getting breakfast? And by breakfast, you know what I mean now. So I mean those injection meals and and they really motivated us to like just say, okay, apply. We didn't know we were going to stay apply for the admission. So we thought it's probably like every other MasterCard application where they'll tell you it covers everything. And then that one was on one side, right? So, but then after getting the whole results and you feel like, okay, let me even start again. As a Nigerian now, you will not give up. So, another question is about this application fee waiver of a thing. Some schools get to be like, especially like all these Ivy League, they are so proud that they don't want to give out application waiver. And based on that, right, you actually have no other ways. And it's either you just back out or you still continue. So like were there maybe like opportunity where you requested for waivers that they did not give others that they gave you? Probably maybe you should drop that hack. And yeah, I'm hoping to join the boot camp as well. Thank you.
We are happy to have you in the family. Thank you.
Do you want to
No,
take
no, no,
in on
Michael,
the
please take this
okay?
one. I think it's for you.
Thank you, James, for that question. We all get breakfast at some point, So like if you say you've if you don't if you say you haven't gotten, I don't know what to say, but I feel like you have to like, stick your nose in the grind, basically. So with respect to the Knight NSC scholarship, like I applied, I think 2022 or thereabout, and like most people, like you definitely like I got the breakfast, like I know I put in the best application, and on like you said, you didn't know you had to even apply to the school itself. I even had to like apply to the school itself, so that's like, and I still didn't even get Stanford. Do you understand? So that's like double breakfast for me. Do you get? And this was after paying like I think Stanford application fee was about $80. And as at 2022, 2023, $80 was not small money. Right now, sir, it is not small money with the exchange rate. So I think with respect to like getting breakfast, let me just say that, oh, it's 125 now. That's that's
It's
nice
one
to
to
know.
five.
Wow. So, we're getting breakfast. I know that, first of all, I know it is not easy. Like, there are times whereby you are sick to your stomach and, like, you put in the best application. But I just want you to know that it is, like I said in my first, when I started, like, you should start getting used to hearing no. It is not the end of the world. And all you just need is one yes and one door, like one door to be open. So just keep knocking onto the answer. You might even have to break the door if you have to. And it's not just like, for instance, now it wasn't just Stanford I was applying to. I was applying to different schools. So when you keep trying, definitely one is going to like say yes. So for instance, now I didn't get Stanford, but I got Berkeley. Do you understand? I just didn't go to Berkeley because the scholarship package was not as encompassing like the current school I'm in. That's the University of Georgia. There are other schools I got admission into, but the one that stood out for me was University of Georgia with respect to everything that I wanted. And to even like bust your head, the University of Georgia didn't actually even give me funding the first time. They only just gave me admission. But it was through my constant like follow up. And that is why I'm like, you have to like just follow up. Like just this saying when you put your face, like you rub your face on people's like how would I put it? Like rub your face on people's mind. So that's how you just keep doing it. So I was always like emailing the admission officer, just telling her that, oh, I still want to come regardless, that I'm committed and all like that. And that's how one random day I just get an email from the lady saying that, oh, am I still interested? That there's an offer they want to give me, etc., that, or have I committed to another school? As a Niger guy, you can't say no now. You have to say yes now. So I was like, okay, let me hear what they have to say. And my God, like when I saw the offer, like I was just like, I was just I was in tears basically because it was even bigger than what I expected. Because that was even the school I was going to go with. I was going to go with what's the name of the school? University of is it San Francisco? No, USC Gold. I can't remember what's the name, but that's what they call it, USC Gold. And I had like a 50% scholarship, and which is something, But once I saw this one, this was like a fully funded scholarship. So obviously I had to like go with this one, basically. So like what I'm saying is that in essence, like your miracle is around the corner. You just have to like keep on holding on, like keep on keeping the faith, like keep on knocking. It might take you twice as long, but I just know that at the end of the day, it will speak. That's just what I have to say. Respect to like, breakfast and like keeping in the grind. Then for application with personally, my own strategy is like, I mean, initially I was paying, but at some point it just didn't make sense to me because you pay for application fee waiver and that's if you can afford it. So there are some schools that will tell you that, oh, it is compulsory that you have to pay the waiver, regardless of how you try to like persuade them and stuff like that. So I think you also have to like budget for it because personally then if you really want to apply to those schools you have to like make plans and in advance and stuff like that. So then I had to like budget, and that time the exchange rate was still decent, so your application fee could cost about 25K, 15K thereabout with the exchange rate then, but right now it is something else. So me personally, like what I just do is that whenever there's a school I want to apply to, I just ask random. Like I know that they might give or they might not give. I've already done my findings, but I still ask regardless. So I just ask the admission officer that, oh, I'm interested in your school. I would like to pursue this degree. How do I go about it? Do you guys grant application waiver? So it's from your response that I know if you are going to give, that's all well and good. I'm applying to your school. If you are not giving, I carry my bag and I go somewhere else, that sort of thing. So like I said, it depends on what the school that you want to apply to, basically. So if you want to apply to all the schools that they don't waive application fee waiver and you have the money, by all means go for it. But if you don't, you just have to like prioritize the schools that you want to apply to, respect to the one that ask for waiver, because right now the exchange rate is not smiling. So you just have to like be mindful of that. And there's also some little bit of pride. I think there was a school that told me that if I have to like request for waiver, I have to like show bank statements, I have to show why I am asking for a waiver if I don't have the finances and all that. And I was just like, this is too much just for application fee waiver. Meanwhile, there are schools that there are schools that they are going to give it to you for free. You understand? So I think that's what you have to bear in mind.
I think I really like what you said last. There are like 2 points you made that really stood out to me. Your miracle is around the corner, very, very important. And then the other one you said, I hate when schools try to make you prove how poor you are. I don't like that. I
Yeah,
really
I
don't like
mean,
it.
I
My book
don't.
campers know that. I say that a lot. When they're trying to make you prove how poor you are. It blows my mind. Reinforcing the poverty of Africa. Like, stop it. So
Yeah.
but yeah, like there are lots of schools that actually offer application fee waivers. However, I always tell people don't limit your university applications to only schools that offer application fee waivers. Sometimes you just have to pick one or two schools that you know guarantees fully funded scholarship upon admission. You just have to save to pay for the application fees of those schools at the very least. And then you can now focus on other fully funded, application fee waiver schools and things like that. Okay. All right. I hope that answers your question. Huh. I don't want us to keep Michael here. Oh. Time difference. Michael had to wake up really early this morning to be here for you guys. So we are going to only answer two more questions. If you have other questions, please reach out to us via our DM. We'll be there to answer. Who to pick now? Who to pick? Okay. Sharon.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Sorry, I
Hi,
joined
good
this
afternoon.
late, and I'm saying this because I don't know if you had touched on it, so I'm
Okay.
not joining back. Yeah, so it's concerning the boot camp. I
Okay.
made people for the second cohort that was supposed to begin in August. Yeah, but I have not seen any the emails that I was sent, I responded to every one of them. I followed the links and all those things that were sent to me. I checked Telegram. I had not seen any feedback. I kept checking. I keep checking my mails, although I have a lot of work to do. Like I'm working and my work is very tasking. So I've not really been able to pursue. But I just wanted to know if there was any delay with it, or am I missing something? Have the bootcamp started and I have not been a part of it?
The bootcamp starts on the 24th of August. I'm sure
Oh,
that came in the email that you got. So
oh,
it has not commenced, but it starts 24th of August. You should get your enrollment details by next week.
okay.
So, but you must have received that information about it starting 24th of August already.
Okay. I registered since July, so all my head was it was going to begin in August. Like,
At the beginning of August, no,
yes, that
it's
was what I
24th.
thought. Okay, maybe
Yeah.
that was the website. I'm so sorry.
No,
Thank
no,
you
no,
so
it's okay. It's okay. At least now you're at peace, you know.
yeah.
So okay, the boot camp. Okay, let me give you a run through. Usually I'll have done this after questions, just to give you a run through of the boot camp, but let me just do that right now. So we're having three cohorts this year. We are concluding one already. One is going to start in August, and then the other one is going to start in October. The last one for the year is going to start in October. Now, the one for August is starting on the 24th of August, and it's going to run through August, September, October. So it ends in October. So our boot camps run for 3 months, or rather, it ends in the early part of November, sorry. So our boot camps run for 3 months.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the duration of our boot camp. You're going to spend 1 month on the online course, well, 3 weeks on the online course, and then you're going to spend 2 months in our accountability group, where you're going to actually practice writing your essays, optimizing your CVs, you know, for those of you who want to go for PhD programs, you're going to write your writing samples, your research proposals, everything you're going to do, all the essays you have to write, you're going to do all of that during that time. So it is what um you know being conscious of. All right.
Okay.
And right now we also have a 20% discount. So for those of you on this webinar, have an opportunity to pay for the bootcamp, 20% off. So yeah, take that into consideration and make sure you take that opportunity. We cannot guarantee that this discount will be available for the third cohort. But for now, for this webinar, those of you that attend this specific webinar, you get 20% off the bootcamp. That being said, the bootcamp is a family that goes on even after the bootcamp. It doesn't end when the bootcamp ends. The community is still open afterwards. We have people within our community that maybe didn't go in the year that they used the community, but went the second year, and we still receive their testimonials via the group. So we don't close the group down. The group stays open. Okay. for at least 5 years, the group stays open. So that's something to keep in mind. You have that strong community of people for about 5 years. So that's the community stays on. So if there are any other questions, you can ask. If you still want to enroll for the August cohort, it is open. It closes later on, I think 22nd, but still open as of now. However, if you want to wait for later in the year to join the last cohort, which opens in October, you can do that. Okay? The discount is valid for 72 hours only. So let's just keep that in mind. All right. I think James James is excited. So I think he wanted to say something earlier. James, you can
Hello,
unmute and
hello.
speak. Hello.
You're very beautiful. You're very beautiful.
Okay. Do you have any question? Okay, no, he doesn't. All right. Oluwatosin. What? Oluwatosin Loba. Oh, Oluwatosin Loba.
Good afternoon, Ma.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so my question is concerning the recommendation letter.
All right. I can't hear you.
Options. I have one specific professor that is winning, like.
Okay. That's a
Can you
good
hear me
thing.
now?
Yeah, I can hear you
Hello.
better.
Yeah,
I can hear you better.
Okay, Ma. And then I'm thinking of, because I hear that it's better if your supervisor, the one that did your final year project thesis with you, if it's part of your recommenders for graduate school.
It's not compulsory, but it's fine.
It's not compulsory. It's not
No, it's
compulsory,
not.
but okay. Okay. No problem. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not compulsory that it's your final year supervisor. It could be any other professor that might have taught you one course or the other. It works as well. Okay. It's possible that your supervisor might not be interested in being a referee for you, and that's fine. Okay. All right. Olubusayo, and then we'll have, okay, you know what I'm going to do? Olubusayo, then Lillian, and then Blessing, and then we'll close out. Okay.
Good afternoon, Jimmy. Good afternoon, Michael. Thank you so much for this webinar.
Thank you.
To my question, the challenge I'm having is that the lecturers that I am close to are not professors. So I wanted to ask, does it matter if they are just PhD holders and not professors? Because the professors were either visiting lecturers or they were just high up there and there was really no avenue to interact with them and form a bond. But I have professors that are just sorry, I have lecturers that are just have their masters or
Oh,
are even
I think you
doctors.
misunderstand us. When we say your professor, we mean like your teacher or your lecturer. We don't necessarily mean in terms of qualification. So if the person is, even if the person doesn't have a PhD, but the person taught you, that's all that matters. Do you understand?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So what
So
if
it's
the
not,
person has only masters but doesn't have PhD? There's no doctor in front of the name.
it
But
doesn't
he taught
matter.
you. Okay.
I said, so far the person taught you and can show that they know about your academic background. That's all that matters.
Okay, thank you. I have another question. What duration should we inform these lecturers ahead of time that we need them to be out? Okay, put this into perspective. I want to apply for the 2024-2025 academic section, which will start next year. I am supposed to apply this year. I am yet to inform these lecturers, but they are close to me because I feel, oh, they are my guys. I've not yet told them. Is it too late to do that now?
You know, it's all about planning. So you still have some time. You can inform them today. Like I told everybody on the call, do that today. Write out all the potential people you want to be your referees. Reach out to them today. Hi, Mr. This. Hi, Mr. That. Hi, Professor This. Hi, Dr. That. Hi. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I just wanted to check in on you. That's all you need to do for today. Okay? Later during the week, you craft your messages properly and reach out to them properly. I plan on applying to some universities abroad, and I would love you to be my referee for some of the schools. Now, it is possible that as of now, you don't yet know the schools you want to apply to. That's fine. That's completely fine. Okay. So you can frame it in that way to tell them, I would love you to be my my referee rather, for some of the schools I want to apply to this year. There's nothing wrong with that. Reach out to them as soon as possible. And then you give them time. You give them at least a month and a half, at least. So let's say you ask them today, you know that you're not looking to submit your applications up until maybe like October, November. Do you get what I'm saying? Does that answer? Okay, that's all right. Lillian,
Hi, Jimmy. Hi, Michael. Thank you so much for this session. So I have two questions. The first would be for someone that has like more
I
advanced
can
work
barely
experience.
hear you, Lillian.
Oh boy, can you hear me now? Hello, please, can you hear me now?
Well,
Is it
yeah,
better?
it's
Okay. Well, if you can hear me, I was saying I have two questions. So the first is for someone who has more years of work experience and will be applying for like an MBA program, for example, not the conventional master's route. Would you say, and like also like, within the context of work experience within startups where you don't directly have line managers necessarily, can you pose your colleagues to like help refer you since they might be more willing and might have had more context working with than a proposed line manager in more like conventional companies? Also for volunteering experiences, if you have been away from university longer, would you say, someone who is probably heading the volunteering organization and then your colleague that has closely worked with you in a startup context, would they be like in a better position to refer you? Yeah.
absolutely. So, the key of a reference letter or a referee is to have someone who can really speak on who you are as a colleague, or who you are as a professional, or who you are as a business manager, or whatever the case is. So if your colleagues, or your teammates can speak to you as that individual, then it works. It just depends on how they write it. So far, they are
Okay.
not writing it as your friend or things like that. So far, they are not doing any of that. Then it works.
Okay, so you can reference like the way your sample letter was saying in the capacity of, I would like you to write this reference in the capacity of this so and so office.
Yes, in your capacity as the communication manager of this office.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Even if they're not your bosses, or in your capacity as a senior associate of this office, even if you are also a senior associate.
Okay.
So they can speak to a reference letter is not monotonous, like it's not a one-way street. There are like so many ways they can speak to you as an individual. They can speak about your teamwork, your ability to work in teams, your leadership qualities in a team and things like that. So yeah.
All right. So my second question, when you're trying to rebuild relationships that you probably haven't paid much attention to, just asking, wouldn't it be a bit like fishy when you do that for like a period of time and then you ask for references? Does it make the recommenders uncomfortable? Is there a better way to approach it?
So far, you're not creepy about it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So far, you're not creepy about it. You can genuinely look. The fact that you want to ask for a reference, hello. The fact that you want to ask for a reference letter from someone doesn't mean you're being weird about it or something like that. I think so far So far, you're not creepy like Aaron Bayen is being creepy right now. I don't know why you're doing that. But so far, you're not doing any of that. So yeah, it works, I think.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for this session. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Blessing Bright. I'm going to. Why not use the hand raising function? If you have a question, use the hand raising function and you'll be called to ask your questions. A lot of people are writing in the chat box, I have a question. Use the hand raising function and you'll be asked to unmute. Okay. Is Blessing here? Okay. We'll go to Susanna. Okay, I think Susanna.
Hi, Jimmy. Good afternoon.
Hi.
Thank you for your.
Good afternoon. Hi. I think I'm seeing more hands. Oh, okay.
Please, I have two questions actually, but then the
Okay.
first one, I think Sharon tackled it, Lydian tackled it a bit. So I had a student mentor on campus, and then he currently completed his he currently completed doing his master's in the UK. So I want to know if I can ask him to be my referee for my application as well.
I'm confused. You have a colleague. Did you say colleague?
He was a student mentor. So in my school, we usually have predecessors who are doing well. They actually have a group of 5 students they mentor.
Why not just get a professor? Why not get a colleague in the office that can write? Because remember, you can't just pick a referee like that. It's someone you might have worked with in the past, someone who can speak to your academic ability and things like that. Like, don't overcomplicate things. Like, person that has to do a lot of explanation in their letters. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so why not just go for a professor or your team member or something like that? Because I don't know where to put a student mentor. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know where to place or categorize them. They are neither professional, except you're, I don't know, applying for maybe a leadership opportunity and say you should write a leadership reference letter. You can then get your student mentor to write a leadership reference letter for you, you know. But otherwise, I really don't see the relevance. Because oftentimes they won't fit into the requirements of a school. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you too. Okay, so Jenny, Omo, if you've asked your questions, please put your hands down.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey. So basically, I've got a question about like my boyfriend. He's like been acting really weird recently and going out like late night work. Do you know what like I could do?
I'm confused. Hey, Ini. Hi.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, please, I want to ask a question. So I recently applied for a scholarship program, and I was asked to provide my vice chancellor's email or contact details for university endorsement. So they are really strict on getting your vice chancellor or provost endorsement for the scholarship. And 2 months ago, I had sent out an email explaining what I need and all the process. And I keep getting, oh, this has been processed for the vice chancellor's attention. However,
I'm
sorry,
confused. The school asked for your vice chancellor to write a reference
chancellors.
letter for you?
No, what they do is that there's a university endorsement form that they'll send to
Oh,
my
okay.
vice chancellor's email for him
Okay.
to fill and then send it back, submit it. So it's still hasn't been processed. He hasn't submitted and everything. And there's a lecturer that's ready to fill it out for me and submit. Although they are strict on it being my vice chancellor or provost. What do you think I should do?
I think you need to go to your school.
My school is it's far away from me.
No, I'm dead serious. Except you don't want that opportunity.
Okay.
I think you
Okay.
need to go to your school. Now, let me ask you, this opportunity, are they going to give you, is there a like 90% chance of you getting a fully funded scholarship?
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
I think you find time to go to your school and get it done, or you get someone that is maybe like you have a very good relationship with in your school that can be like your anchor, your spokesperson, like the person that solicits on behalf and maybe does all the ground running for you. It's one or the other. But if you really want the opportunity, then you might have to go to your school.
All right.
What
Thank you.
school?
My university,
Yeah.
Covenant.
You might have to go, if I'm being honest with you. It's not easy to be a vice chancellor. Like, I'm sure it's not the one that will write it. It's probably the secretary,
Okay.
school secretary that would do it and things like that. But you might have to go to your school, go to the school secretary's office, like you honestly, you really would have to do that, if I'm being honest with you.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you too. Fadipe Oluwaseun, then Nengi, then Nii, then Diana, then Blessing. Blessing, you keep putting your hand down and up. That's the reason why every time I want to call you, you put your hand down, unfortunately. Okay. So don't worry, you go after Fadipe, Blessing, then Nengi, then Nii, then Diana, and we'll close out. All right.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Fadi Oluwaseun. So my question is, while applying for maybe a graduate school in the US, and there's a part in the recommenders page where you have to fill in details, and a link will be sent to the recommender. And there's a part that says, well, waive access to recommendation or ignore, something like that. So what is your take on that? Does it impact the credibility of the recommendation letter, negatively or positive? What is your take on that?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Okay.
You could waive your so it's in two ways, right? It's in two ways. American schools are a lot more liberal than Nigerian schools. Let me explain what I mean by that. So for American schools, when you resume, you can ask for your school file. And oftentimes everything about your admission and all of that is in the school file. You can see the comments that the admissions committee puts in your documents when they were admitting you. Of course, they won't show you everything. There are some things that will be confiscated and completely destroyed and things like that, but you might be able to see all of those things, including your reference letters and stuff like that. That could be one side of it. The other side of it could be that you are able to, oh, okay. The other side of it could be that you're able to review, what your referee writes about you. That could be the other side of things. So you need to, let me just put it this way. If you know that your referee is going to write the right thing already, no problem, right? You can say no, but it has no actual implication, in my opinion, on your application. There's no like bias for that. It's just you accessing your file later on and things like that. That could be the downside to things, because then the reference letter would be removed from your application file and stuff like that. So those are just the things. But otherwise, I honestly don't see the implication to that. There's no, because oftentimes American schools, at least, and every other school really, they look at applications holistically. Most schools pride themselves on doing that. So there's no one aspect of your application that completely determines whether you'll be admitted or not. I don't know if that answers your question. Okay. Wait, before I move on to Nengi, does that answer your question, Fadikolo?
Yes, you did. You answered my questions perfectly.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Nengi, no, before Nengi, sorry. Blessing Bright. Okay.
Hear me?
Blessing Bright. Yeah, I can.
Yes, I am here. Can anyone hear me? Okay, please. I'm so sorry. I had
Yes,
some calls coming in.
it's fine.
Okay, I need to ask, and I'm directing this question to Michael. Please, I need to know the scholarship you got, and do you in any way have to work for any lecturer in the aspect of working as a research assistant or maybe teaching for the lecturer? I just want to know, because I need to know the difference between the scholarship you got and doing assistantship.
Okay. So can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay. So no. So my scholarship wasn't a graduate assistantship. However,
Okay.
they do give graduate assistantship. So mine was a tuition cost waiver and a reduced merit scholarship.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, instead of paying as an international student, I was going to pay as a resident of the state. Then I was given additional scholarship.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I have a second question.
Okay.
Before someone can apply to the school, and you want to ask for tuition waiver and all of those stuff, do you like first of all maybe go to the admission committee, or I don't know, the person you have to go to first, and maybe send them an email and ask them if they can give you a tuition waiver, how you can get a tuition waiver, because you cannot afford it actually. And you first of all have to go to them, write an email to them before you do your application. You apply to the school first, because I need to know before you get admission.
Okay. So Blessing, let me just give you like what has worked for me, and I hope that other people can benefit from this. So I feel like in your graduate school journey, like 90% of the work is the research. I'll be very honest with you. Like to me personally, I don't think admission or writing personal statement or getting transcript, I don't really think I mean, they are important, but I feel like the bulk of the work is your research, because you want to like get the best offer possible. And personally, for me, one of the decisions I made was that if I was going to go for a master's, I won't, I'm not going to cough out money, because of how expensive it is. Like I'm going to get, like my intention was to get a scholarship. So once you do the research that, okay, these are the schools that give, like you first find out like these schools, whether they give fully funded or they give a partially funded scholarship. Then secondly, my advice is that you don't necessarily have to like go and ask, like obviously some of them will be very diplomatic in their responses that, oh, they say, oh, we do give scholarship, but you don't want to sound like that you want to only come to the school for scholarship. So here's my own advice, or here's my own like strategy to anybody that wants to implement it. You just reach out to the school generally, like genuinely asking that, oh, you have interest in their school, and that you want to apply for this program or you want to pursue this program. that can they set up a meeting with you. Now, I don't know. I think for mostly, I don't know about UK schools or Canadian schools because they apply to all these jurisdictions. But for the United States, if you tell them that you want to like set up a meeting, like what Jimmy said, they are very liberal. They will say, okay, yeah, let's set up a meeting. Like, what do you want to discuss and stuff like that. And it is from that meeting that is like your selling point, whereby you can, you know, like you can, how will I put it, you can know how the school runs or how they think, and also you can also sell yourself basically indirectly, so that when you put in your application, the admission officer, because it starts from that admission officer, like your application starts from that admission officer. They might say they don't have any hand in the whole process, but to be honest, it's how well you put yourself in that regard. So I feel like once you do that, you can now then that can put you like in a strong contention for like scholarship basically. And also there are things like the personal statement, your grades and work experience and all of that that comes into play. But personally, you also have to like establish like that connection or that relationship basically.
Okay, thank you so much, Michael. I hope that answers all your questions. Blessing. Moving
Okay, thank you
on.
so much.
You're welcome. Fadipe. So we have just 4 hands up. Fadipe, Nengi, Diana, and Oluwafemi. So is Fadipe here? No, I think Fadipe has answered this question already. Okay, Nengi.
Yes. Hi, Jimmy. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Thank you for the webinar. It's been really resourceful so far. So the question that I had is, with regards to writing references. So my experience has been that my referees are quite busy, and so they tell me to generate like drafts by myself and send to them. And I was thinking that initially, if I generated the drafts, I mean, them being professors, they would add their own, final touches to it. But they sadly did not. I mean, I did my best, but they did not. And I don't know how to go around this, because even this year, I think that would still be my experience with my academic
So
referees, however.
okay, so did you fill the form that we put in the chat box?
No, I didn't have the form last year.
Confused. There was a link. Please, team, can we drop that link again? I already
Maybe I missed
mentioned
it.
it. I said we're going to be sending a sample of a sample reference letter request and a draft, an introductory draft. We're going to be sending the samples of these things to you. So if you fill the form, you're going to get the sample by next week.
Oh,
So
I see. Okay. I don't think I've
yeah,
gotten the link just yet. Maybe
the,
if you could
the
just
the
drop it
link
again.
is in the chat box. They just dropped it on the chat box. You fill the
Okay.
link and then you get
Okay.
the
Okay.
sample document. So this will guide you in preparing a good reference letter draft.